That's right, we are in the beautiful Alpine region of Airolo and Quinto in Switzerland, here for the Junior World Freestyle Skiing Championships. Day 2 of a 4-day competition that sees action on the Moguls Hill and the Aerials Hill. 357 athletes representing 21 countries and all aged between 14 and 19 years old. Yesterday we saw the single moguls. We can see the mogul pitch there to the left of the picture we're looking at right now. And today it is the turn of the aerialists to hit the jumps and take to the skies of Airolo. The jump site to the right of the mogul hill there. And the conditions perfect today. -3 degrees. Bluebird and bright sun all around. We're on the Noah course, named after Noah Roth, the hero of Swiss aerial skiing. In this beautiful area, the twin municipalities of Airolo and Quinto hosting the World Junior Freestyle Skiing Championships for 2026. So we will start the competition for this aerials competition today with the men. 22 athletes on the start list to take 2 jumps each. And it's the best of those 2 jumps that count towards their final position. And they are looking for a place in the top 6 to jump again in the 3rd round to decide the medals and the World Junior Aerials title. I apologise. It was initially to be the men that were to start the competition, but we're looking now at the women's start list, of course. And it looks like it will be, in fact, be the women that will get this World Junior Championships underway on the Aerials Hill. With Ardana Makinova getting things underway. We will get confirmation of exactly the order of running shortly, but we're taking a look at the start lists for the competitions. We've just seen the women's competition start list. Now we're looking at the men's competition. Jakub Dresler for Czech Republic and Elliot Beauregard of Canada to start things off. Like I say, 22 men on the start list, 18 women to compete, all aged between 14 and 19 years old. So quite an age gap at this Junior World Championships, or quite an age range, I should say. It's quite a big difference at this age between 14 and 19, but they're all competing together. And it looks like it is, in fact, going to be the men that do get the competition started, because at the top of the hill there we can see Jakub Dresler getting ready, representing the Czech Republic. And it's great to see some young Czech athletes coming through in freestyle aerials. We'll have Simon Krupa a little later on in this running order, but it is Jakub Dresler for Czechia who gets the competition underway. They have had Olympic glory, of course, back in the early 2000s with Aleš Valenta becoming Olympic champion in Park City in the early 2000s. And this is the first jump of the World Junior Championships. A full twisting double back somersault from Jakub Dresler there from Czechia. A lay full, so a layout in the first somersault and a full twist in the second. That's called a lay full, and it's a good start to the competition for Jakub Dresler, the first of his 2 jumps in this qualification round. Hitting that double kicker, rotating twice, head over heels, and getting a 360 twist into the second flip as well. So a full twisting double back somersault from Dresler of Czechia for his first jump. A nice landing from the Czech youngster as well. There are 5 judges to decide the scores today. The judges drawn from Armenia, Canada, Czechia, Ukraine and Kazakhstan. As we await those scores for Jakub Dresler. The Points are awarded on the basis of control and style in the air, along with the quality of the landing, and also the difficulty rating for the jump, which is multiplied by those judges' scores for air and style. And that gives a total of over 67 points for Jakub Dresler there, which sets the standard for today's first round qualification. Like I say, each of these athletes to take 2 jumps now. 2 jumps, and it's the highest scoring of the 2 jumps that will count towards their qualification for the top 6 final. This is Elliot Beauregard of Canada. Wow, getting a lot of twist into that maneuver there. Very complicated. I think that was a double full, double full. We'll take a look back at that in the replay. But certainly a lot more twist, a lot more spin being put into that than we saw from Jakub Dresler. Let's take a look. Here's the first flip. Double full. Double full. So, let's break that one down. Basically, the first back somersault had a 720. And the second somersault has a 720 as well. So, great jumping and a high degree of difficulty for Elliot Beauregard. 67.57 is the lead score at the moment from Jakub Dresler. And let's take a look at the breakdown for Beauregard. Remember, there are 5 judges to give to score air and form and landing, and that is multiplied by the difficulty rating. And with that double full, it's a high degree of difficulty, 3.9 points, and that gives a that will give a really big score for the Canadian. Looking like he's got over 100 points, 101.79, I think it is the score for Beauregard, and that is a very early high standard jump from Beauregard, and will be difficult to beat today in this first round for sure. Bohdan Napolitano for the USA gets a similar jump in. That was a double full, so not quite as difficult as the jump of the Canadian, but still a reasonable degree of technicality within that maneuver. A 720 in the first flip, a 360 in the second. Now, the juniors here are limited to double somersaults rather than the triple somersaults. They pack in extra difficulty. So there we see a double twist in the first flip, a full twist in the second from Bohdan Napolitano of the USA. Caden Hacker of the USA waits at the top of the in-run. Napolitano's teammate, after having seen a good jump from him. Seeded 9th in this competition there, number 9 on his competition vest. And it's an 82.83, putting Napolitano up in the second spot. Remember, it's the highest scoring of these 2 jumps that counts towards a place that they're looking for in the top 6 final. And in that top 6 final, they will jump again to decide the medals today at the World Junior Championships. This is Caden Hacker for the USA. Big air time and a clean landing. Now, that was a double. So, double twisting, double back somersault. He is happy with that, and he should be, because it was good air. He was high up in the air. This is a sport that is about air time, and that for a double somersault was big air time. Took a lot of speed, got a nice big double twisting, double back somersault. Look how far down the landing hill he's gone. A lot of the athletes you'll see popping their jumps in pretty near the top of the landing hill. But Hacker there, about halfway down the hill, which indicated a lot of airtime for that double twisting, double back. So the degree of difficulty not quite as high as that we've seen from the last two athletes down, but he did have extra airtime. So the judges will give him a bit extra for that airtime. Remember, the judges' scores of air, form, and landing are multiplied by the difficulty rating for the maneuver to arrive at a total. And it's Elliot Beauregard's total of 101.79 that currently leads this qualification round. Perfect conditions today at the World Freestyle Junior Championships. For 2026, we are in Airolo in Switzerland. A beautiful area close to the famous St. Gotthard Pass and Tunnel in the south of Switzerland. Not too far from the Italian border. Not too far away from Livigno, in fact, that an area that only last month hosted the Olympic Winter Games. And there are one or two of the athletes in this field of 22 men who actually were represented at those Olympic Games. So even though this is the World Junior Championships, a couple of Olympians amongst them. On course now, though, it is Gavin Canzano from the USA. And the American juniors in good form here in Airolo. Another clean jump from Gavin Canzano there. Superb takeoff. It's the same jump that we've just seen from Caden Hacker. A full or a double twisting double back. So it's a double back somersault with a 360 in each of those somersaults. But as we saw from Hacker, the takeoff was superb. The American junior men here taking quite good speed into this double kicker and getting some good air time in those fulls there. Nice straight body positions as well. So good form from the judges to be expected. Elliot Beauregard still leads with 101.79. And as I said a little earlier, I'll be surprised if anybody goes higher than that in this first run of the qualifications. And Canzano with 83.16 gets himself up into second place behind Beauregard. So Beauregard for Canada leads with Americans in second, third, and fourth place at the moment. Roman Pogosyan for Kazakhstan, the first of 4 Kazakh athletes represented here at the Junior World Championships today in Airolo. And it was Kazakhstan that hosted the Junior World Championships last season. That competition taking place in Almaty. And he just holds on to the landing there from that double full. So getting the triple twist into the double somersault. Got a double twist in the first and a full twist in the second. So a reasonable degree of difficulty there from Pogosyan. Wraps it up with the arms tight into the chest to get that 720 spin into the first somersault. And then a 360 in the second somersault. Now it appears that we may have lost picture at this stage. Apologies for that. Certainly have lost picture from my viewing position. And hopefully picture will be restored soon. At the moment, I can tell you, if you can still hear me, that the leader in this men's first round of qualifications is Elliot Beauregard for Canada with that superb score of 101.79, the only one of the athletes to go through the 100-point barrier today so far. We've got 22 men on the start list. Picture has been restored here in Airolo for the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. on a jump site here that is often used by the Swiss freestyle team for pre-season training. The name of this course, in fact, is the Noe, named after Noe Roth, a man who we saw on the podium in February at the Olympic Games. He's also the world champion from the previous year and a great hero of Swiss freestyle skiing. So we await the scores of Roman Pogosyan for Kazakhstan at this stage. 5 athletes have already taken their jumps. 22 men in all on today's start list, ranging in age of 14 to 19. Here at the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. Perfect conditions in Airolo. Beautiful snow cover at this late season date. And we're blessed with blue skies and plenty of sunshine today. The temperature about -3, so couldn't really be better. We couldn't hope for better conditions for this championship. Yesterday we saw action on the mogul course that we can see to the left of the screen there. That's the bumps course. And we'll be seeing more action on the bumps course over the weekend, where we have dual moguls side-by-side bumps action to look forward to, as well as dual mogul team competition. Today we are in the early stages of the men's aerials competition. The aerials site just to the right of picture there. We can just see the 3 kickers poking up above the top of the landing hill on that aerial site here in Airolo. We're on day 2 of this 4-day competition. And on the aerials hill, we're seeing men's and women's competition today. There will be aerials team to look forward to over the weekend also. Right now, it looks like the competition is on hold for an as yet unknown reason. There hasn't been a crash or, thankfully, any injuries at this stage in the event, so it's nothing to do with safety, but possibly a technical issue up on the hill, as we are still, I think, awaiting a confirmation of Roman Pogosyan's score for his last jump. This is the first round of the competition for the freestyle aerialists as they take to the skies of Airolo under perfect conditions. 22 men on the start list. There is the score for Pogosyan. 74.37 his total. Beneath that there, 101.8. Still the lead score held by Elliot Beauregard of Canada after that fantastic double full. Back up top, the next of the athletes prepares to jump. This looks like Jackson Chapman, I think, of the USA. A little bit of wind blowing across the hill. Look at the flags on the left of the screen at the moment. We can see a little bit of a strong crosswind. That's the only problem that we've got today with the conditions. Other than that, things are perfect, and that wind is starting to pick up a little. It's been good, okay, today throughout training, but now just starting to pick up, and that could play a part in today's competition. As Jackson Chapman of the USA drops in on the kicker, puts up a good full, but over-rotates slightly on landing. That's a bit of a shame. Now, I was just talking about that wind up there on the in-run. It is starting to build. At the moment, it looks like it's a crosswind. The worst problem for aerialists are face winds or tailwinds. And on this occasion, the crosswind possibly just giving the American a little bit too much airtime there, perhaps, on that full, that double twisting, double back. Jackson Chapman there, one of 5 American athletes represented in this qualification round of 22 men. Last man down will be Dinmuhamed Ramkulov of Kazakhstan. He is ranked number 1 on the basis of the fact that he was the winner of the Junior World Championships last year on home snow in Almaty. And great to have him with us off the back of his representation for his nation at the Olympic Winter Games just last month over the border in Italy. Ramkulov will jump last, just after Simon Krupa, the 14-year-old, one of the youngest in the competition. They'll be the last 2 down as we await the score for Jackson Chapman. Here it is. It's a 6th place spot for him at the moment, 70.87. And just to remind you that the aerialists are looking for a place now in the top 6. It's only the top 6 that will get to jump again for the medals. It'll be a clean slate final, so the scores are back to 0. And it's the best single jump that wins the day. And right now, this is Roman Siniuk of Ukraine, with a double twisting, double back. And once again, just like we saw from Jackson Chapman, possibly a little too much speed on approach there to that jump. We're not seeing any triple somersaults today. The World Junior Championships limited to double somersaults rather than the triple flips that we'd be more used to seeing at World Cup or Olympic Games. But nonetheless, still some good airtime and some brilliant trickery from the juniors with these double somersaults. Still a lot of airtime involved. That was a double twisting double and a little bit too much airtime, perhaps, as the Ukrainian just slightly over-rotated that double-double. He's got a second chance in the next round. Remember, it's the best of these 2 jumps that counts towards qualification at the final, rather than an addition of the 2 jumps. It's the best of the 2 that counts. So still hopes resting now after that over-rotation for Roman Siniuk of Ukraine. Still hopes for him in that second round. Still the lead held by Elliot Beauregard, the only athlete so far to get past the 100-point barrier on 101.79. Back up top, we can see the flags there still blowing as this wind starts to build a little bit here on the Airolo course. This is Ulaslav Vazniuk jumping as an independent athlete. Bib number 16, and with some nice control in the air and a good solid landing. Not the most complex of the maneuvers that we've seen. A double twisting double, a full, I apologize, a double full. So we got 720 in the first flip and a 360 in the second. Nice execution, good air time, a reasonably high degree of difficulty with that triple spin in the double somersault, and a near perfect landing in actual fact. Looking at that camera angle there is pretty much the angle that the judges are viewing the competition from. 5 judges to decide the totals. And on this case, for Vazniuk, going into second spot with a 96.58. 3 Swiss athletes represented. Here is the first of them. On home snow and with a solid landing. That was Lino Vernley, sorry. So Lino Vernley representing the host nation with a double twisting, double back somersault. Again, nice air time, a nice straight body position and controlled skis during the flight. And a good solid landing as well. So we have seen more complicated maneuvers than that full. But The airtime there was good, and so was the landing. Again, a near perfect landing, in fact, from the Swiss youngster, Lino Vernley. Slots into third place. That is a good start for the Swiss athletes here in Airolo on home snow. Neville Erb, the next of the Swiss athletes, the three Swiss athletes on the draw, jumping one after another. And Neville pops into the same jump, a double twisting double. Consistent stuff so far from the Swiss junior men's team. .360 in the first flip, .360 in the second, spots the landing, adjusts the drop out of that second somersault perfectly. And that would be a very similar score to his teammate, Lino Vernley. This is pretty much the view that the judges are getting of the jumps. Of course, that camera angle there locked off just on the landing. The judges looking at air, form, and landing, and their scores multiplied by the difficulty rating for the jump, and it is a very similar score for Neville to Lino Vernley. He slots in just behind him into fourth place. So Swiss athletes in third and fourth place at the moment as the third Swiss athlete gets ready to jump. This is Andrin Leiber. Once again, a double twisting double, but not so lucky on landing. A little bit of an over rotation. Possibly a little bit too much airtime for Leiber. And that is possibly a consequence of the winds that are starting to pick up now on the Airolo competition site. Elliot Beauregard then still leads with that 101.79. Let's take a look at the landing of Andrin. And he just comes in with the weight too far over the tails of the skis, and with the compression of landing dropping in from a good height. If you're over on the tails of the skis like that, it's difficult to ski it clean. So he backslaps that landing. And, of course, the landing points for him will be severely affected as a consequence. 5 judges, remember, to score the competition today. The judges giving points for airtime, for form, and for landing. And there it's a 0.3, a 0.3, and a 0.3 for Leiber. Out of a possible 3.0 would be perfect landing scores. So a 52.6 total for him, with his hopes now resting on that second round of jumps. Now the next of 5 American athletes to compete today. Scott Kane, with the same jump, a double-double. He puts it in with a clean landing, although there were some breaks in form during the flight of that jump. The 5 judges are looking for a good controlled body position in the air. Nice straight body position, skis held tight and parallel together. The sport of freestyle aerials judged in many respects a bit like diving might be in the summer games, with points being awarded for form, and instead of the entry into the pool, it is the landing on the hill that counts for 30% of the overall judges' scores in this instance of freestyle aerials. And Scott Kane, part of a strong American junior team here in Airolo at the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships. We're in round 1 of the qualifications for the men. Each of the athletes to take 2 jumps, the highest scoring jump to count, as they look to get themselves in the top 6 final. It's just those top 6 finalists who will jump again. They'll take a 3rd jump to decide the medals and the Junior World Championship title today. The men in action first, the women to compete a little later on today here on the jump site. And there the score of 74.97 for Scott Kane, slotting him up into 8th place. Remember, the athletes looking for a place in the top 6. 2 Americans in the top 6 at the moment, Gavin Canzano and Bodan Napolitano. This is the second of the Canadians, Elliot Primo. Well, it looked like he was about to over-rotate that one, but he actually got it in very clean. So that was good skiing from him. A 720 in the first somersault. Let's take a look. Wraps the arms in, tighten into the chest to speed that twist up so he gets a double spin, or twist if you like, in the first somersault. And then a single spin or twist in the second. So a 720 in the first flip, a 360 in the second. It's called a double full. And he stretched his arms out right above his head as he was coming into land to slow down that rotation. That's a little like putting the air brakes on. Extending the radius of gyration, effectively making the body longer and therefore slowing down that somersault. And he played that one perfectly because he did get a good landing in there. And that should put him somewhere up in the top 6, I suspect. 91.29, it's a good score for Primo. He's up into 3rd place. His teammate, Elliot Beauregard, still leading on 101.79. So a good day so far for Team Canada. Julien Dubois for Canada still to jump. Coming near the end of this field. And right now it's Azalkan Azan for Kazakhstan. But he over-rotates. Now, was that a question of too much somersault rotation? Or was it a bit too much airtime? I think he possibly took too much speed into that jump. Possibly as a consequence of a tailwind on the in-run. We know that the wind is blowing a little bit around the Airolo site today. It's a double full, really good in the air, but just too much airtime. You can see that he was way down the landing hill there, almost past the halfway point, and despite a marvellous takeoff and good style in the air, he just had too much height. Over-rotating it onto his back, and of course the landing points from the judges will be severely affected for that. So Azalkan Asan, a veteran, I should call it, in relative terms, of 11 World Cup competitions, even though he's still only a junior competitor, and a one-time Olympian as well. He competed in Livigno last month as part of the Milano Cortina Olympic Winter Games for 2026. But the 16-year-old has his sights now focused on that second round of jumps. If he can stick that one down, he should be assured a place in the top 6. But he's got to do that in the next round if he wants to have a chance of success today. The next of the Ukrainians, Mikhaila Toronsky, with a relatively easy but well-executed lay full. So just getting a single twist into that double backflip, but with good style and a clean landing. I'm not sure whether that'll be enough for a place in the top 6. Actually, I said it was a lay full. I apologise. It was a full. So he got a 360 in the first flip and a 360 in the second. A full, but with a nice straight body position and a clean landing. The full, not quite as difficult. Not carrying as many difficulty points as the double fulls. And we've seen a few of those now. We've seen half a dozen of those jumps. So not as difficult as some of the other jumps. He may be able to produce that in the next round. Who knows? The athletes aren't allowed to repeat from round 1 to round 2 of the qualification. And Taronsky goes up into 5th place with that one. So he does have a place in the top 6 for now. But it is still early days in this competition. We're only in the first round of the qualification jumps. The best of these 2 jumps it is that will count towards a possible place in the top 6 final today. Next up for Kazakhstan, Maxim Popov. Now he lines up on the smaller of the jumps, the single kicker, and just goes over once. A nice backflip there, one of the most basic moves in freestyle aerials. Obviously at a very early stage in his freestyle career. This, the Junior World Championships, and as well as a good span or age range within the field. There is, as we can see, quite a big span in the technicality of the jumps being used by the athletes also. To be expected at the Junior World Championships, but that was a nice backflip somersault, a single backflip with a decent landing as well. But of course, the fact he's only gone round once instead of twice and didn't put any twist into that jump means that the difficulty rating of the jump is very low. So the judges' scores, the 5 judges will score air, form and landing. Their scores will then be multiplied by the difficulty rating of that jump. And so although that was good jumping for Popov, with the lower degree of difficulty, that only allows him a 48.58 score, but good to see him competing here at the World Junior Championships today. The Ukrainians are in action again. Roman Bondarchuk. Back off the double kicker, getting a lot of twist into that one. Sticks the landing clean as well. So a competitive jump. The Ukrainians, very good at freestyle aerials. There have been many world and Olympic medalists from their quarter. A double full from Bondarchuk. Nicely executed. 3 twists in that double back somersault, so a nice high degree of difficulty as well to be multiplied by those judges' air and form points. Air form and landing. Let's take a look at the landing. There it is. Gets his weight perfectly over the middle of the skis. Keeps all his hands and body parts away from the landing hill as he skis away clean from that double full. Roman Bondarchuk awaits his score for Ukraine. That, I think, will be good enough for a place somewhere in the top 6. And it is, 92.35. Bondarchuk up into 3rd place. He's the highest scoring of the Ukrainians so far. Elliot Beauregard still leads with 101.79. Vladislav Vazniuk in 2nd with 96.58. And Roman Bondarchuk there goes into 3rd place. This is Evert Kannanen of Finland, just coming a little unstuck on landing, with some hand faults as he skis away from his first jump of the day. So he gets a double back somersault in. No twist in that double back. A layout position in the first and a tuck position in the second. So a relatively easy maneuver, but well executed up until the point of the landing. Let's take a look at that. He just had a little bit more airtime than he perhaps was expecting. Once again, possibly as a consequence of catching a little bit of a tailwind on approach to the jump. Catching a tailwind on the jump, of course, increases your speed as you come into that jump, which of course translates into more airtime. Nikita Taronsky for Ukraine sits in 6th place at the moment. It's the top 6 only who will qualify for the final. And here we go. Well, a double tuck back there from the Canadian Julien Dubois. Let's take a look back. Takes off the single kicker. Tuck. An interesting trick, going for a double somersault on the single kicker. So taking it easy, not getting too much airtime, but managing to get some rotation in. The athletes can use either of the kickers that they like. And that's quite an unusual jump, but with a solid landing. Julien Dubois, he won't score super high with that one, as the difficulty rating for that jump is relatively low. There's no twist in there. And the airtime, of course, is a little lower as well. He won't have taken as much speed to go off that single jump, the smaller single kicker. Won't have taken as much speed as the athletes that are hitting the double kickers. Of course, at World Cup and Olympic level, the athletes are pretty much all using triple somersaults, the triple kicker over 4 meters in height, and putting the athletes up to 15 meters in the air. But here we're looking at double somersaults entirely. The competition limited to double somersaults for the juniors. And this is Simon Krupa for Czechia. Only 14 years old. Hits the double kicker with a lay full and stretches it out nicely. He got a lot of airtime into that. Now, it's a relatively simple maneuver from a technical point of view. Just a single twist in that double back somersault. But he was up there. He was that was a high jump. Got lots of airtime. Looks down, realizes he's high, stretches the arms out high above his head to soak up that somersault rotation. And he played it perfectly. That was really good jumping from Krupa. Great form. He'll get good points for the judges for air as well. The higher you go in the air, the more points you get, of course. But the form was also good, and the landing decent too. He almost over-rotated it, but that stretching out of the arms was great work. Great bit of aerial control from Simon Krupa there of Czechia. As he's enjoying the jumping today. We're approaching the end of round 1 of this 2-round qualification of the competition. Krupa's score 72.5. He slots up into 14th place. Remember, it's only the top 6 that qualified for the finals today. And this will be the last man down. Dinmuhamed Ramkulov of Kazakhstan. Ramkulov, the defending junior world champion. Here he goes in defense of that title for his first qualification jump. Well, that is one of the better jumps that we've seen in this first round of 22 athletes. And a great way to conclude the first round of qualifications. Ramkulov of Kazakhstan, the world junior champion, competed in the Milano Cortina Olympic Games just last month. A nice landing, a little bit over-rotated perhaps, but he didn't touch any hands onto the snow, so it'll be a high score for him for that double full. It's a 92.7. So Ramkulov there books himself into the top 6. Don't forget, it's the best of these 2 jumps that will count towards a top 6 place. So those positions could all change because we do have a second round of jumps still to come. But for now, the top 6 are Elliot Beauregard, Vladislav Vazniuk, Din Muhammad Ramkulov, Roman Bondarchuk, Elliot Primo, and Lino Vernley. They are the top 6 at the moment, but it could all change. That completes run 1. We've still got run 2 to take place, and it is the best of the 2 runs that will count towards qualification in that top 6 final, at which points the scores are scratched back to 0, and it's the best single jump that wins the World Junior title. The flags at the bottom of the course, they're still blowing quite strong, and we've seen a couple of athletes just over-rotate a couple of jumps today. The wind still blowing around the course here in Airolo. Other than that, conditions very good. Blue skies and plenty of sunshine on the course, so visibility is as good as it can be. But that wind is the enemy of the freestyle aerialist. These guys are jumping high up in the air, approaching 10 meters of airtime at the top of their jump for these double somersaults. The big problem with the wind, though, is more to do with the speed of approach to the kicker. The faster you go, the higher you go. And if you come in too fast, you go too high, and you end up over-rotating or crashing the jump or worse. So the wind really is the big enemy of the freestyle aerialist. And there is some wind around the jump site today. It looks to me like more of a cross wind, which is not as bad as a tail or face wind, but either way, any kind of wind really around a jump site is not favoured by the freestyle aerialists. But we got a pretty clean round in there of that first round of 22 men in that first qualification jump. No mishaps, just a couple of little crashes, but a pretty high standard of competition, it has to be said. The lead jump by Elliot Beauregard. Double full, a technical jump with a double back somersault with a 720 and a 720. The free skiers would call that double 1440. And it's a technical degree of difficulty. Going upside down twice and getting 1,440 degrees of spin rotation in there as well. And that was the jump that Elliot Beauregard nailed early on in that first run of qualifications to get over the 100-point mark. The only athlete to go past 100. His score, 101.79. And that sets the standard for today's competition without question. At the moment, the athlete sitting in 6th spot is Lino Vernley of the host nation Switzerland, and he sits on a score of 87.88 in that 6th position. And it is only the top 6 that will book themselves a place in today's final, with a chance to jump in a third round as the medals are decided. So we're at the halfway point in the qualifications then, here at the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. We are in Airolo in Switzerland. Beautiful conditions on the jump site on day 2 here of the Junior World Championships. That sees the aerial competitions taking place. Freestyle individual aerials for women and men today. Titles to be awarded for both of those competitions. Later in the weekend, we'll see an aerials team event as well. But for today, it is the individual competition that is taking place. Yesterday, we saw the freestyle single format moguls. excellent competition action there. But today it is the turn of the jumpers. Conditions perfect, but for a little bit of wind around the hill. As we get ready now for the second round of competition. Jakub Dresler of the Czech Republic gets to jump next. And over-rotates that first jump of the second round. Jakub Dresler, possibly a victim of the wind I was just talking about a moment ago. Maybe. I just looked like he had a bit of instability on takeoff as he rode up the kicker there. Didn't quite get a smooth transition from the in-run up the face of that kicker. And that instability on the jump translated through into the flight. And that meant that he crashed out on that landing. So it will be Dresler's first round score of 67.57 that will count towards his place in the top 6. And it means that he won't be making the final today. Elliot Beauregard of Canada will jump next, the winner of the first round, or the leader at the moment with that 101 score, 101.79. Beauregard waits at the top of the in-run to take his jump. He was the 6th place finisher in Almaty, Kazakhstan last year at the World Junior Championships. His second time at the World Juniors. And he gets ready at the top of the hill. Crosses his arms to say he's not ready to go yet. Looking at those flags. Now the wind looks like it is blowing straight down the hill. This is a dangerous situation for freestyle aerialists. Look at those flags. They're going crazy. The wind picking up on the Airolo site and blowing straight down the hill. So Beauregard has taken a little bit less speed to account for that tailwind that he's getting. And he gets it perfectly. He is a great jumper. Elliot Beauregard handling very, very difficult conditions here in Airolo with that strong tailwind that we saw him having to adjust for on the in-run. And he gets a 720 in the first flip, a 360 in the second flip. It's a double full with an almost perfect landing. And what a great jumper he is. He already has the lead score. I would say he is pretty much assured of a place in the top 6. He was the only athlete to go past 100 points in the first jump, and that was with a double full. This was a double full. Slightly easier, but he nailed the landing once again. Elliot Beauregard is an athlete we are going to see a lot of as he starts to make marks on the World Cup Tour. A lot to look forward to from him next season. And I wonder how he will get on at the World Championships that will take place next year, as opposed to the Junior Championships that we're looking at now. But for now, he stays in that top spot. 97.29 is the best score of this second round. This is Bodan Napolitano of the USA. Another nice jump from Bodan. Not quite as technically difficult as that of Elliot Beauregard, but nice airtime and good form. And again, Bodan Napolitano, another athlete to look forward to as he progresses through his World Cup, World Championship, and possibly Olympic career. These guys, Bodan Napolitano and Elliot Beauregard, who we've just seen, along with a couple of the other Americans, the likes of Caden Hacker and Gavin Canzano, are set to be great opponents over the coming years at FIS World Cup, World Championship and Olympic level, I'm sure. all that to look forward to. For now, it is the World Junior Championships for 2026. Elliot Beauregard leads the second round on 97.29. Napolitano there slots in behind him with an 84.42 with that full. And it is the next of the Americans, Caden Hacker, who is next to jump. Looks like he's going to downgrade his difficulty compared to the last round. He did a full in the last round. This can't be a repeat, so he just goes for a lay full. But he over-rotates it. Look at that. Far too much airtime. Leaves a big hole in the landing hill where he banged in there on his back. It looks like he's okay, thankfully. But taken a bit of a hit on landing. So Caden Hacker will be relying on his first round score after that big over rotation as he comes to a grinding, thumping stop there from that lay full. And almost certainly, I would say, Hacker was a victim of a tailwind on the in-run there. That will have just pushed him into that jump too fast. That will have just given him more airtime than he was expecting. And we can see the consequences of that. So Hacker's first round score will be the one that counts for him. As a consequence of that that crash, his landing points are going to be, of course, quite low. The perfect landing scores would be a 3.0 from each of the judges. There are 5 judges. The highest and lowest of the judges' scores are deducted. The middle 3 scores are kept and counted. And like I say, with landing points, the highest landing points you can get are 3.0. There are also air and form points in there as well. And on this occasion, the landing points for Hacker there are 0.1 and a 0.1 across the board out of a possible 3.0. So that drastically affecting his score, and it's his first round score that will count for him as he attempts to get into the top 6. He could still do it though. A nice jump from Gavin Canzano, also of Team USA. Canzano was in a good position after that first run. 9th place with an 83.16. So looking for something more here in the second round. It's a lay full. The same jump we saw from his teammate, but he will have learned from the mistakes made by Hacker. Probably stepped down a little bit to adjust for that blustery wind on the in-run. That can lead to difficulties for the aerialists. And a near perfect landing from that for that lay full for Canzano. Sorry, Scott Kane, I should say. No, it is Canzano. Gavin Canzano, it is, yes. Gavin Canzano, I apologise, yes. So 83.16 his score from the first round. Let's see what he gets for the second. Not as good as 70.76. So it will be his first round score that counts towards his bid for a place in the top 6. And I think that means that he won't be able to make the top 6. Not good enough to get into the top 6 at today in the World Juniors. This is Roman Pogosian of Kazakhstan. Big air time, a little bit too much. Once again, an over rotation. Another athlete, I think, falling victim to that wind on the in-run. That wind coming from behind, the tailwind, pushing the athletes into that kicker just a little too fast. Very difficult conditions. Either a tail or face wind is the biggest enemy of the freestyle aerialist. And Pogosian of Kazakhstan there, just getting too much air time for that full. And over rotating. So again, it will be his first round score that counts for him. It's the highest of the two jumps that counts. 74.37 he got on the first round. At the moment, it is an 87.88 that is the score that needs to be better to get into the top six. 87.88 is what these athletes are looking to better in order to get themselves into today's top six final. And Pogosian there with a 74.02 as we look back up top for the next of the Americans. Jackson Chapman with a low fall, but adjusts for the landing and gets it wrong. That's a shame. And again, his first round jump will be what counts for him. Got a nice takeoff. Lofts up into the layout. Takes a good look down, but you can see that as he came out of that first somersault, he looked down and realized that he was too high, or higher than he'd intended to be. Stretching the arms out, adjusting, trying to get a landing in. But unfortunately, not getting a clean landing on this occasion. So the highest degree of difficulty so far, a 3.525, jumped by Elliot Beauregard. That double full. He's the only athlete in this second round so far to get the triple twist into the double somersault. He got a quad twist in the first round, so he's looking pretty good, is Beauregard. This is Roman Siniuk. Just holds on to the landing there, despite a little bit of over-rotation, a big compression. He sank really low on landing, but critically managed to keep his hands off the snow. So he won't get the best of landing points, but not as bad as it could have been either. And the athletes, it looks to me like they're just struggling a little bit with these slightly blustery conditions that we're experiencing on the jump site today in Airolo. So Roman Siniuk, his score comes through there. He's up into fourth place in this round, but not overall. Next up, the first of three Swiss athletes. This is Lino Vernley. This is a jump site he knows well. Used by the Swiss freestyle team for out-of-season training. And Vernley sticking in a nice clean lay full. Just a 360 in that double back somersault. But good air time. Lofts it up nice and high. Keeps a nice straight body position. The skis held perfectly parallel together. And he nails the landing as well. So there'll be really good points from the judges for his air, his form, and his landing. The difficulty rating for that jump, though, is a little bit easier than some of the others that we've seen. It's only a 2.9, and that 2.9 is multiplied by the judges' air, form, and landing scores to give a total. So he has done well in terms of the eyes of the judges, but obviously that score is going to be a little bit lower as a consequence of the slightly lower degree of difficulty. But great jumping from Lino Vernley. He was sitting on the sixth spot with an 87.88. from the first run. He gets a 78.3 for the second run. So with that first round jump, he still gets himself at the moment into the top 6. That is a lay full that is nailed by his teammate, Neville Erb. Elliot Beauregard still leads with 101.79 from the first round. Vernley sits still in 6th place. Erb was down in 9th place as a consequence of his first round score of 84.1. But we'll wait to see where he goes with that. The air and form were good. The difficulty wasn't as high, though. So this could go either way. It's questionable as to whether he'll get himself into that top 6. Either way, the Swiss team here on home snow are looking good. The junior team very well prepared. And it's an 80.33 for his second round jump. So Erb there sitting remains or stays in 9th position at the moment. His teammate Lino Vernley sitting on the bubble in the 6th spot. It's only the top 6 that go through to today's final. Let's not forget. Here is Andrien Labeur. Gets the higher degree of difficulty in, but comes unstuck on landing. That's a shame. Went for the double full. Looks like he's taken a bit of a knock to the head, but a bit of disappointment. The athletes aren't allowed to repeat their jumps from the first round to the second. They need to do 2 different jumps in these qualification rounds. And it is the highest scoring of the 2 jumps that counts. Gets the double twist in the first flip and a full twist in the second, but you could see that he was adjusting throughout the flight of that jump and just couldn't manage to connect on landing for that one. So Andrien Labeur will be using his first round score. It was only 52.6, so I think Labeur will be out of the running today. He crashed out on the first round as well. He's clearly capable of some good technical jumping, but today he won't be in the final, unfortunately. One Swiss athlete still in the top 6. That's Lino Vernley. Let's see how Scott Kane for the USA gets on. He's going for a lay full. And he spaces out on the landing too on that one. He scored a 74.97 in his first round. That put him into 13th place. Remember, the athletes here looking for a score at the moment of over 87.88 to get the top 6. And unfortunately, with that lay full, over-rotated. Well, it was a little bit over-rotated. He tried to wheelie it away, but didn't manage to get himself back into a position to ski it cleanly. So we will be saying farewell to Scott Kane at this stage in the Junior World Championships. We'll possibly be get to see him ski again or jump again in the team event over the weekend. But for now, it is farewell to Scott Kane after crashing out that lay full. The top 6 at the moment: Elliot Beauregard, Vladislav Vazniuk, Din Mohamed Raimkilov, Roman Bondarchuk, Elliot Primo, and Lino Vernley. They are the top 6 at the moment. And it is only those top 6 who will go through to the final. Things still could change, though, as we are only about halfway through this second round of jumps with some big hitters still to take to the kickers. Awaiting the score now then for Scott Kane of the USA. 76.23 his score for that second round jump, and it's his first round score of 74.97 that counts, but only good enough for 13th position at this stage, as Elliot Primo of Canada sets off. Still quite a lot of wind on the in-run. Gets a triple twist into the double somersault. Nice jumping from the Canadian. A full double full. Sticks it down clean. That's a good high degree of difficulty. Elliot Primo got a good score of 91.29. That put him in 5th place. And that could well go better. It's certainly going to be up there. It'll be fairly similar, I think, for Primo. A fairly similar sort of score. A full double full, so gets the 720, the double twist in the second somersault. 91.29 is his score from the first run. Just a little bit less for that second round jump, so it's his first round jump that scores, and that keeps him at the moment in 5th place. So he is in a final place at the moment. Let's see how Azalkan Azan gets on. Crashed out in the first round. Capable of big things, and that looked like a quad twister to me. A double full, the landing was clean, whatever it was. We'll get confirmation of a moment when we have a look at the replay of that one, but I think that was a double full. The same jump as seen in round 1 by Elliot Beauregard of Canada. Beauregard, the only athlete so far to have broken out that trick. Let's take a look. Double full. Excellent jumping from Azalkan Hassan there of Kazakhstan. A double 1440, that would be called in free ski. 720 basically in the first flip and a 720 in the second. Excellently executed amongst tricky conditions today here with the wind blowing, but he gets it perfectly. Beauregard scored 101.79 for that same jump in the first round. Azalkan scores 100.62, not quite as good. About 1 point less than the Canadian, and that gives us an idea of how this Junior World Championships is shaping up. Mikita Toronsky for Ukraine. Next to jump, and already it looks like Beauregard and Azan are setting out their stalls for victory today here at the Junior World Championships. Canada, Kazakhstan. We've got Din Muhammad Ramkulov, the defending World Junior Champion, still to jump in this second round. And we've got Vladislav Vazniuk as well, who didn't take a second round jump. He just decided to stick with his first round score of 96.58 and opted not to take his second round jump. A bit scrappy in the air there for that jump from Mikita Tarhonsky of Ukraine. Just breaking form in the second somersault as he came back into land. So Tarhonsky there, well, he goes up the qualifying score now has shifted to 91.29. Elliot Primo is in 6th place now. Lino Vernal has dropped down. Vernley has dropped down to 7th. There, a single back somersault from Maxim Popov of Kazakhstan, one of the real newcomers to the Kazakh team. We've just seen Azalkan Hassan jump an incredibly complex double full. This is a much simpler back somersault with a pike position, bringing his legs up in front of him to make a different position through the flight of that jump. But just looking at the scores at the top of the leaderboard at the moment, Elliot Beauregard still leads with 101.79, his first round score. Azulkhan Hassan, after making mistakes in the first jump, gets it right the second time out, goes over the 100-point barrier. The only athlete to go, only one of two athletes to go through 100. He's on 100.62, sits in second place. Lino Verny for Switzerland has dropped out of the top six for the time being. It means that he will stay out of the top six, of course. He's down into seventh place, unfortunately. Now, Roman Bondarchuk of Ukraine is in fifth place at the moment and gets a big, complex maneuver. Crashes out as he skis away at the bottom. But there may be some judges' deductions for those that little bit of instability as he skis away. But let's take a look back at that jump, because I've got a feeling that may have been another double full, double full. You're going to let me have another look at the replay. Certainly gets a double twist in the first flip, and he gets a double twist in the second. And he gets a clean landing, but then trips as he skis away. So there was some instability from Bondarchuk, but that is equal max degree of difficulty. Up there with Hassan and Beauregard of Canada, Hassan of Kazakhstan, and there Bondarchuk there, awaiting his score. And it's a good one. So, taking a look at his position now, he goes into the lead position. 102.96, confirmation of Bondarchuk's second round jump score there. Amazing. That was Julien Dubois of Canada taking a jump off the single kicker once again. But let's just go back to that score of Roman Bondarchuk for that last jump, the double full, double full. The Ukrainian has gone into the lead, ahead of Elliot Beauregard. Dubois getting a back somersault with a full twist. Sinking a little low on landing, but skiing it clean on that nice easy jump there. But the big news for now is that Bondarchuk there with that last jump, confirmation coming through that his second round score is 102.96, which is the highest scoring jump of the competition so far. So he has booked himself a place in the final. No question about that. And leads the competition at the moment. The scores do go back to zero, but Bondarchuk leads, Beauregard in second, Hassan in third. All three of those athletes jumping double full today. Amazingly high standard of competition as Simon Krupa for Czechia gets ready to jump. Only 14 years old, one of the youngest athletes in the event. The wind still blowing on the in-run here in Airolo. That's a nice full. He gets the landing in clean. He is going to be a great jumper. Some real talent there from being displayed by Simon Krupa. Only 14 years old, as I say. Difficult conditions today with the tailwind on the in-run, but he times it perfectly. He gets a full, a double twisting, double back somersault, stretching his arms out high above his head to control himself for that landing perfectly. Now, he may not get himself into the top six today. I don't think he will, but he is undoubtedly a talent for the future. That second round score there of 81.97, putting Krupa into 12th place today. So his competition at the World Junior Championships ends at this point, but he is happy to get in such a nice full under difficult conditions as we just saw there. Now then, the defending World Junior Champion gets ready to jump. Dinmuk Hamad Raimkulov sitting in 5th place at the moment, so he already is assured of a final position. but he over-rotates the second jump. I think that might have been a double full as well. I'll have to take another look at that in the replay to be sure. Either way, it won't be as good as his first round jump, I don't think. His first round jump scored 92.7. That put him into 5th place, so he is assured of a finals place. And that is a double full. So he is the 4th of these juniors today to perform a double full. That's a quadruple twisting double back somersault. The 4th of the juniors to perform that trick today. Amazingly high standard of competition in Airolo at the Junior World Championships. Unfortunately, though, Raimkulov, the defending World Junior Champion, not managing to land that one clean. So it will be his first round score of 92.7 that counts for him. But we can say that he has now qualified for that top 6. The scores will be wiped back to 0 for that final. He was the last man down in the qualifications. That concludes the 2 qualification rounds, which means that we can now say that Roman Bondarchuk, Elliot Beauregard, Azalkan Azan, Vladislav Vazniuk, Din Mohamed Raimkulov, who we're looking at now, and Elliot Primo of Canada will be our 6 finalists today in the Men's Junior World Championship. Unfortunately, Lino Vernley just missing out for the host nation. The Swiss athlete dropping down into 7th place, but remember, it is only the top 6 that get the opportunity to jump again in the final. The scores, as I say, will go back to 0, and it is the best single jump of the next round that will decide the World Junior Champion for men's aerials for 2026. We'll take a very quick breather in the proceedings for a moment as the hill is prepared. The jumps are brushed down and tidied up ahead of the final. We'll just take a very short break for a moment from the competition action as we prepare for the men's top 6 final. So we are on a short break in the proceedings at the moment here at the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. Day 2 of a 4-day competition here in Airolo in Switzerland. The world's very best 14 to 19-year-old freestyle experts in action as we look ahead now to the men's aerials final. Roman Bondarchuk of Ukraine, the highest scorer of the qualification rounds, which means that he will jump last in this men's final. Elliot Beauregard of Canada was just behind him after his first round qualification jump with a score of 101.79. Azalkan Azan of Kazakhstan is in the mix as well, as is Zishwa Vazniuk. There are the jumpers for this men's World Junior Freestyle Aerials final. The scores are back to 0. It is the best single jump that counts towards this competition today. The best single jump wins the day and the World Junior crown. A little bit of training going on the Moguls Hill just to the left of screen at the moment. We saw single moguls yesterday. Great competition there. And there'll be dual moguls and dual moguls team to look forward to over the course of the weekend. Right now, we are about halfway through the aerials competition. The men's qualification has completed. And we look now for the 6-athlete final to decide the World Junior Men's Champion before the women take to the course a little later on today. While we await that men's final, let's take a little look around the area hosted this year by the twin municipalities of Airolo and Quinto, a beautiful part of Switzerland. So we are in Airolo in Switzerland, a beautiful corner of this stunning Alpine nation, the perfect hosts for the FIS Freestyle Junior World Championships for 2026. Competition that will see 357 athletes in ages ranging from 14 to 19, representing 21 countries over this 4-day competition of freestyle aerials and moguls. Coming up, the men's aerials final. 6 athletes now only remaining in the competition after 2 rounds of qualifying jumps. Elliot Primo of Canada will start. Din Mohamed Raimkulov, the defending World Junior Champion, will follow him down. Then we have Vladislav Vazniuk, Azalkan Asan, Elliot Beauregard, and Roman Bondarchuk to jump. The athletes taking to the jumps in reverse order of their qualifying positions. Roman Bondarchuk of Ukraine, the highest scorer of those qualification rounds. The scores, though, have gone back to 0, and it is the best single jump of this next round that wins the World Junior Championship title. 5 judges to decide the medalists today. The judges drawn from Armenia, Canada, Czechia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. Just ahead of this men's World Junior Championship final. The action getting underway in a few moments here in Airolo. Okay, here we go then. Elliot Primo of Canada gets ready. Lining up on the jump site now. 6 athletes to contest the World Junior title. The best jump wins of this round. Well, it's not a bad start to the competition for the Canadian. A few mistakes on landing, though. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed with that. He just made the cut into the top 6. He's capable of brilliant jumping, of course, but there were mistakes on landing. Let's take a look at the jump. Full twist in the first flip, wraps up a double twist in the second flip, but there is the over-rotation that causes his frustration. Just either putting a little bit too much somersault into that full double full, or possibly maybe just took a tailwind on approach and got a little bit too much air. I think perhaps he was slightly over-rotated on takeoff. Let's see how the judges score that one. The degree of difficulty is good. It's a triple twisting double back somersault, a full double full, 3.525. The difficulty rating for that score, for that jump. But letting himself down just a little bit, unfortunately, on landing. He was getting 1.5s for landing out of a possible 3 would have been a perfect landing. So he goes into the top spot on 80.72. But this is Dimokhamed Ramkulov, the defending World Junior Champion. And that looked like a double full from him. He got the landing in clean. The form was perhaps a little scrappy in the air, but that's a high degree of difficulty from Ramkulov. Ramkulov, remember, the defending World Junior Champion. He congratulates Primo, the Canadian, at the bottom of the hill with 4 men still to jump. Primo leads with 80.72. There's the double twist in the first flip. A double twist in the second. Sinks a little low on landing, possibly touches a hand. So the landing points are going to be about the same as what we saw from Elliot Primo. But whereas Primo's difficulty was 3.525, Ramkulov's will be higher. His difficulty rating multiplied by the air, form, and landing points of the judges to create a total for the jump. And the judges making their calculations at the moment. Ramkulov, remember, the defending World Junior Champion. A title he won last season on home snow in Almaty in Kazakhstan. So the difficulty rating for that jump, 3.9, compared to a 3.525 for Primo's full double full. Ramkulov getting the double full in, and a total score of 92.82 to go into the gold medal position. As Vazniuk gets ready to jump. Vazniuk opted not to take his second round jump, just focusing right now on the final. Well, it's a decent landing, that's for sure. The form in the air was quite good too. So, Vladislav Vazniuk. keeps this competition alive. The top 6 men, the finalists, looking for a place on the podium here at the Junior World Championships. Double full was the jump. So a 720 in the first flip, a 360 in the second. Not quite as high a degree of difficulty as Ramkulov. The question is, will the air and form points outweigh that? The landing was a little bit better than that of Ramkulov. The difficulty rating not quite as good. Well, it's close. So Vazniuk goes into the silver medal position with that 92.0. Ramkulov, the defending World Junior champion, holds on to the gold medal spot. 0.82 ahead of him only. Next jump, Azalkan Azan. Capable of quad twisters. We saw him produce this jump in the last round of qualifications. If he can nail this one, he will certainly make a bid to be World Junior Champion. Double full. A little bit of instability as he comes into land, but he gets a clean landing in. Let's take a look back at the replay of that one. I think that was just a little bit better than the jump that we saw from Ramkulov, the current leader. Din Muhammad Ramkulov, the defending World Junior Champion, in the gold medal position at the moment on a 92.82 score. Vazniuk on 92 dead. There's the double twist in the first flip. There's the double twist in the second. It looked like he was going to over-rotate it, but as the coach and athlete both celebrate, it's clear that the landing was clean. 92.82, the lead score at the moment as we await the points for Azalkan Hasan. He competed in the Olympic Winter Games only last month over the border in Italy. Promises an awful lot. And he gets the results today. He's the first athlete in the final to go through the 100 barrier, 103.35. The new lead score as Azalkan Azan goes into the gold medal position here at the World Junior Championships. Ramkulov, the defending champion, now down into second place. Elliot Beauregard, winner of the first round of qualifications, capable of the double fall. Look at the wind blowing on the flags. Difficult conditions, but Beauregard is a brilliant jumper. Well, he downgrades the difficulty just slightly there, a double full, so he doesn't get the same degree of difficulty as what we saw from the two Kazakh athletes. And it wasn't, unfortunately, quite as good as the jump that saw him win that first round of qualifications either. He gets the double twist in the first flip, but then just a single twist in the second, and there's a slight break of form in that second somersault, a little bend of the knees. The landing was clean, so the landing points will be good. The difficulty rating, not quite as high as Azan and Ramkulov. The execution was good, though. There was that little bend of the legs just before landing. So this could go either way. The competition, I think, still pretty open at this stage. Azan leads with 103.35. Beauregard doesn't make it through the 100. Doesn't make it into the top 3 today. Slots into 4th place with only one athlete remaining still to jump in this men's World Junior final. Here he is, Roman Bondarchuk, winner of the qualifications, with a quad twisting double back. It looks like he is going for the same jump now. This has to be a clean landing. Oh dear, but he comes unstuck, goes over the front, loses a ski, and throws away the potential of a World Junior Championship title. He won the qualifications, but he has not won the final. What a disappointment for Roman Bondarchuk there. Difficult conditions in Airolo. He gets the double full, so a high degree of difficulty. A quad twisting double back. but he just didn't quite get himself into the right position to be able to land and ski that one clean. Frustration for the Ukrainian. The junior athlete who won the qualification rounds, but comes unstuck in the final. He was very, very close. Just the weight a little bit too far forward over the tips of the skis, and he gets pulled over the front and throws away the possibility of that World Junior crown. So the title then goes to Kazakhstan, to Azalkan Asan, as he takes the crown from his teammate Din Muhammad Raimkulov, who has to settle for second place today. And it's Vladislav Vaznyuk who will be awarded the bronze medal. The Canadians, unfortunately, out of the top three at the World Juniors. Elliot Beauregard in fourth place, Elliot Primo in fifth, and Roman Bondarchuk of Ukraine in sixth place. They are the top two. Azalkan Azan, the winner of the World Junior Championships Freestyle Aerials event today in Airolo. Din Muhammad Raimkulov, who came into this competition as the defending champion, will have to satisfy himself with second best today. The silver medal will be his. And it's third place to the independent athlete, Vladislav Vaznyuk. Elliot Beauregard in fourth, Elliot Primo in fifth, the two Canadians, and Roman Bondarchuk in sixth place. Disappointment for the Americans. Gavin Canzano, Caden Hacker, Scott Kane out of the top 10. And a bit of a shame not to see any Swiss athletes in the top six final today. But that was a good men's final. Thanks for being with us for this round of the competition. We take a pause in the proceedings on the Aerials Hill for a short while now as the women prepare to jump. Their qualifications and finals coming up in a little while. For now, though, we take a break from the competition here in Airolo and take a quick look around this beautiful area, the twin municipalities of Airolo and Quinto, and we will be back with the women's competition in just about an hour's time. Goodbye for now. Stay with us for that women's competition.